I applied to be on there, and they won't. And the same reason she was rejected initially is because if you play music on your show, they won't approve you. So that's why I've been doing shows lately that have no music. And so once I've done 5 shows, I'll submit them, and I should be approved. But it's a very broad audience, and so a lot of people want to be on there. I'm like, whatever. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. But it's cool if I do, I guess. But congratulations to Desert Rose for that. Ken Boggle says, burn an effigy of their cares. They burn an effigy of the American people. Wow. The thing is, I've talked about plutocracy here in the United States and how we kind of are in one, and we have been for quite a while now. We are at the mercy because of people. Look, I blame Republicans for this. Okay. I blame Republicans generally for this kind of society that we now have. I blame conservatives because of all the bullshit nonsense that was fed to them by Reagan about trickle-down economics, et cetera, and all that nonsense that people bought into, which makes no fucking sense, but they bought it they bought it. And so if you look at the facts about where our money has come from and gone, and inflation and our deficit and our budget, et cetera, since Reagan, you'll see that it's always been the Republicans, the conservatives, and before Reagan even, that have been the ones spending out of control. And it's been the Democrats who've been actually spending little amount of it and balancing the budget. So it's ironic that the party that continually says they want small government and want to have a balanced budget are the ones that always spend out of control and actually have larger, broader government interference in people's lives. So I blame all of them. It's not a opinion. It is a fact. Drugs, sex, and you risk being shot if you sneak in, says Ken Boggle of the Bohemian Club. Interesting, Ken. I've never heard of it, but that's fucking weird. Ken Boggle says the Republicans and the Democrats are terrible. Until we vote a new party, the country is screwed. I don't necessarily believe that I don't believe the Democrats are so bad. I mean, I think the Democrats have issues, of course, but when you compare them to the Republicans, it's a lesser of two evils, maybe. But they're far, far better choice than a Republican ever will be. Yeah, I agree. It would be great if we had a third party. It'd be great if we had a real third party candidate that people could get behind and people actually believed in and who actually did what they said they were going to do. But people are typically too afraid to waste their vote, as they call it, on a third party candidate because they feel like, the person that they don't want to win in the main parties is going to win if they don't vote on one of them. So, and it's probably one of the reasons that, and it's all about fear. Honestly, how do you keep people under your thumb or keep people under your boot? You instill fear in them. You make them feel as if, the option of going against the powers that be, is a poor or bad idea, and you're going to lose everything you have, or maybe your life because of it. So people, that believe in the bullshit that they're fed, will continue to buy into the nonsense and continue to vote for one party or the other because they feel they're afraid to do something different. They're afraid to go against the powers that be because they're afraid they're going to be arrested or afraid they're going to, people are just afraid in general. And so I think, unfortunately, that until people are no longer afraid to just do what's right and not be afraid to do what's right and to just do what is best for them instead of doing what they've been told they should do or buying into the lies that were fed by TV and newspapers, etc., that are all corporate owned, by the way, and have their own agendas based typically on Republican people, we will continue to be in the same position. So, people want to be led to some degree, but you have to always question authority. I've always said this, I believe this, and it's true. You can't just go on through life and take everything you hear at face value because people will fuck you over any chance they get. So I just wanted to say that too. Let's see. Let me see what else I have to talk about here tonight on the show. Hold on just one second. Let me let's see what's here. Okay, so this. Oh yeah, over the weekend I saw. I watched it when I got back. Miley Cyrus on Saturday Night Live, and she was really good, saying well, whatever. So that was fine. And Saturday Night Live is one of my favorite shows. I've watched it, since I was a kid, and it's one of those pop culture things that everybody can kind of talk about around the water cooler or whatever if they watch it. And it's a really good show, and some episodes are really great. Some episodes suck completely, but it's live sketch comedy, so you never know what you're going to get, really. But I love that show; it's a fantastic show, and so watch it. And speaking of shows, The Coven, that show I've been talking about on my show for a while, which is part of the American Horror Story series, is coming to TV today, Wednesday, tonight, on FX. So if you are a fan of American Horror Story shows, definitely check out Coven. It's new. And for those of you who don't watch American Horror Story, the first season was about a haunted house. Last season was about an asylum in the 60s. This season's about a coven of witches in New Orleans, I think in modern day. So I can't wait to see it. I love Kathy Bates. I love Jessica Lange, who's been in all of the American Horror Story shows. I love Angela Bassett. And there's someone else in this show that I like. I can't remember who the other person was, but Sarah Paulson's in it again. She's been in every one of the American Horror Story shows. And some other ones. The guy, I can't remember his name, has been in all the shows in there as well. So definitely something I can't wait to see. I mean, really check that out because I really, really know I'm going to love it. And my husband's like, I'm not going to watch it. You're not going to get me hooked on another one. Because we watched the first one on Netflix and I watched it. And then I watched the second one on Netflix. And so this is the first one I'm watching live because I just got caught up on all of them this last year. So anyway, I can't wait to see what comes of it. It's a great show. I've always liked shows about witches. I've never been someone who's into vampires. Like I don't like blood and stuff like that. I'm not really into zombies either. Those kind of horror stories. I like witches. Hold on, excuse me. So sorry. I like witches a lot. I always have. So I think that it should be really good. I can't wait to see it. Hopefully it'll be awesome. What else do we have to talk about? Let's see. Practical Magic. I haven't seen that show in forever. I should actually watch it again now that I'm an adult. There's another show, Witches of Eastwick. I saw that when I was a kid and I didn't get it. Like I was like 8 years old or something. So I think I should watch that again as well. But I love witchy shows. I love Charmed. I love Bewitched. I love any witchy shows. I always have. By the way, those of you who've heard about the Barilla boycott by gays and lesbians because the chairman of the board and the owner, the founder, whatever, he said he would never have gay people around in his commercials, and he thinks gays are gross or whatever he said. Well, he now is trying to make up with the LGBT community and saying he wants to meet with them and apologize, blah, blah, blah. Well, fuck that. I mean, the thing is, once you've said something, it's out of the gate. It's done. It's done. You can't take it back. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. It has been released. You've said what you think. It was obvious that you meant it. You said you meant it. You can't come back and say, well, I apologize for saying it, but I still mean it. I mean, fuck you. I don't care. If you don't like gay people, then we're not going to buy your fucking food. So, no more Barilla for me in my household ever again. I used to buy Barilla too. I used to buy the marinara sauce was really good, and some of their pastas were good, but not anymore. Not anymore. And then there was I'm so sorry. This is so weird. I know. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting tired. Then there was a new documentary called Valentine Road, which is is it on Netflix? I think it's on Netflix. It's available on Netflix. Oh, it was on HBO. And so it premiered this last week on HBO on Monday, actually, on HBO. And it's repeating this week as well. And apparently it's a really, really amazing story. It's also very infuriating, but you should definitely check it out. Because it's definitely something that you should see. I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but it's a young boy. It's about a young boy who was murdered. Another one that's on trial. And it's about the system and what happens with them, and it's really riveting. And you should definitely check it out. So it's called, once again, Valentine Road. It's on HBO if you have HBO. Ken Boggle says, I wouldn't buy Barilla, not even for a food drive. Well, I don't think Barilla's bad. I think Barilla's good, but I wouldn't buy it either now. I wouldn't buy it either. I mean, no, not anymore. Fuck you, people. Fuck you. What else before we go can I talk about? Let's see. I'm trying to think. I'm sorry. I'm so tired. This was an impromptu show, so I'm trying to think what else I could talk about. What else is going on? I don't know. I guess that's really all I could talk about. I saw a new client I met today. They had a Whippet, a dog. So cute. I thought it was a greyhound, but it was like a miniature greyhound or something. But he was so cute. I've never seen a Whippet in person. So adorable, so sweet, quiet. So I think when I get another dog someday, I might get a Whippet. I have a Sheltie, by the way, a Blue Merle Sheltie. And he's the sweetest dog in the world. I love him. He's now 12 years old. He'll be 13. Actually, how old is he? Let me see. He's actually, 12. He'll be 13 next year in May, or April rather. And so he's getting old. He's slowing down, and he's got arthritis, and he can't hear very well, and he still sees okay, but I just feel so sorry for him. And he has a hard time getting up and getting, lying down now, and it just breaks my heart, because he's such a sweet dog, and he's always been there for me. He follows me around wherever I go, and I'm just going to miss him when he's gone, but I certainly I certainly hope that he's going to be around for a lot longer still. I just hope he doesn't get so bad that we have to put him down. I just don't know if I'll be able to do it when it comes. I mean, I just don't know if I'll be able to do it. I just don't know. I just seriously can't think about it at all. Before I go, I wanted to mention that myself, Ken Boggle, and David from the 5x5, Ken Boggle from the Ken Boggle Show, and myself from Off Limits Show, we're doing a new show, as well as our existing programs, called The Crew. And it's going to be short little 7-8 minute snippets of each of us talking about particular topics and sort of a roundtable type discussion, but it'll be on a radio show about gay issues, gay topics. So if you're interested in gay issues and gay topics, you want to talk about them with us, or you want to actually send us your thoughts on things, you can actually send an email to info at thecrewshow.net. The website's not up yet. I haven't worked on it yet. I haven't had time, but it should be up before we do the first show next week, I think. And you can check that out. You can also it'll be on Spreaker. It'll be broadcast on Spreaker. And you can also follow us on Twitter once we get that up and running. But it's in the works, and so we're working on doing that, and it should be fun, especially if you're interested in hearing the latest gay scoop topics, whatever, and from 3 different perspectives. There's me, who's kind of outspoken, and I don't know what else you want to say about me, but yet emotional and tenderhearted. There's Ken Boggle, who's a little more conservative and a little more reserved, I think. And then there's David, who's how would I describe David? Sort of a little more bitchy, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, it should be fun to hear our different perspectives on different topics. So if you want to hear us, check that out. It should be interesting. So I want to thank you for joining me on this very short impromptu show. And I want to thank you for listening. If you want to check me out, once again, you can go to offlimitshow.com. I'm on Twitter, on Facebook, and on iTunes. And you can also email me at info at offlimitshow.com. And I'm happy to take your questions or suggestions or whatever you want to talk about. And if you want advice, you can email me there as well. I give that as well. So feel free to do that. And also, I think the next show we're going to do is going to be a tarot reading show. So look for that later in the week or this weekend possibly. And if you're interested in getting a reading, feel free to either call into the show on that show. I'll let you know. You check my website, offlimitshow.com, also Twitter, and follow me there, and you can find out when it's going to be airing. And you can call in live on the show, get a free reading live, or if you have a question, you can email it to me at info at offlimitshow.com, and I'll do a reading for you, a one quick reading question for you on the show. So be sure to listen for that. And thank you for joining me tonight, and I hope you guys have a great night. Good night.
You're listening to Off Limits.